where does the role for many of the bigger festivals, I guess, but I'm curious how it changes as the festival size and type kind of changes. Where does the role of the booking team end and the advance begin?
For me, where it kind of ends is once the contractual points have been negotiated. I really don't want anything to do with that, nor do I need to. But the points that I need to have communicated to me once that is done is their guest allotments. That's really important. And then any points that are going to cost the festival a lot of money that I know are approved of, like transportation is a huge one because that falls under the artist relations umbrella. And we would need to know that before we start advancing and say, no, you don't get that, when they might actually have agreed to those kind of points that are maybe a little bit more expensive. And then also the contact sheet is then handed off to me from whoever's doing the booking, like usually their assistant, but like I need to know how to reach these tour managers, and having a nice grid and have it laid out for me is like super helpful. Sometimes it just comes in riders, which is also okay. I can make the grid ourselves, but it is something that they need to provide to us to then carry out the rest of our advanced process.
So it's ideal that if in your ideal world, it's a grid with the artist manager, contact information, cell phone, email, anything else on that?
I actually don't need to talk to the artist manager at that point. Okay. I only need the tour manager and the production manager.
Okay, cool. And Alex, any thoughts on your end?
Yeah, I actually like to, if I can, have access to the contract itself. This way I can just kind of go through. Most of them are the same, general templates and boilerplates and things like that. But just to be able to go through it myself, like Anna said, knowing where the variation is. It may be a festival that's majority no transportation or limited transportation, but you always have those exceptions to every rule with that. So being able to see that and then reference that, and especially if there's any like discrepancy or pushback with the artist team, it's always helpful to have more information than less with that. And I second, having contacts is always a gift. Always feels really nice, so that it doesn't start with a hunter, trying to reach out to absolutely anybody to follow the rabbit hole of who you actually need to talk to.
And Mark, go ahead, Anna.
I'm sorry. If we get it our way and I can see what they're redlining, I try and tell them not to redline as much in the hospitality world and say per advance, because we're going to talk to them either way. So that's just one thing. If a booker's asking me anything, that's my 2 cents, is like, just say per advance, keep it vague. You don't need to redline that they want 2% milk. We'll deal with that later,
That's funny. And Mark, how is that different lately in your world, dealing with celebrity speakers and things of that nature?
Yeah, it's a little bit of combination of both what Anna and Alex talked about. In my case, I'm actually involved in the negotiations from day one, doing the outreach, working with the talent bookers on that. And then they hand it over to me, and I'm actually doing the contracts in conjunction with the legal team. So we'll have like a boilerplate type or template type legal contract, and I'll send it over to legal for them to kind of review, handling all the red lines going back and forth. And then from that point forward, I'm kind of the main contact leading all the way up to the event, handling, getting all the assets, getting all the information, giving them the information for the day of, collecting all the information, whether it's the ticketing, credentials, knowing who their point of contact is for the day of, handling travel and things along those lines. So it's definitely a hands-on process throughout the entire months leading up to the event.
So it's also really helpful to be able to have a conversation. One of the reasons I really like working with smaller independent promoters is being able to have a closer relationship with the buyers. And then this way you can know more the nuances of it. An artist may not necessarily be a headliner, but there is a relationship there that we want to grow or foster. So while their contract may not say, they get X, Y, and Z, you want to still make exceptions for certain ones. And those are relationships that maybe only the buyer really knows about.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I have to have those conversations with my bookers at various festivals, because it's nice to know, like, maybe something got messed up at a different show. And if there's something we can do to make them feel special at this one, or give them a bigger green room if we can, or maybe they really want to hang out the whole weekend. I need to know those kind of things. So those are things that are maybe communicated not as much in the contract, but need to be spoken, you know, to kind of understand the relationship and help to foster that.